Welcome to today's scary story session. These stories are not for the faint of heart, so be prepared to be scared out of your wits. If you enjoy being scared and want to hear more stories like these, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a scary story session. Let's get started. In January 1959, a group of 10 experienced hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, embarked on an ambitious trek through the remote Ural Mountains in Russia. They aimed to conquer the challenging slopes of Kolet-Syakhl, Dead Mountain. However, their adventure took a sinister turn, and what would become known as the Dyatlov Pass incident would go down in history as one of the most perplexing and tragic mysteries. On the night of February 1st, the hikers set up camp on the slopes of Kolet-Syakhl. However, something terrifying and inexplicable would soon descend upon them. The following morning, their tent was discovered in a bizarre state. It had been ripped open from the inside, with the hikers seemingly fleeing in a panic. The surrounding area showed no signs of an external threat, leaving investigators puzzled as to what had caused such a terrifying response. A search party was quickly organized, and the first signs of tragedy were discovered. 2 bodies, shoeless and dressed only in underwear, were found near a small campfire. It appeared that the hikers had desperately attempted to gather warmth before meeting their untimely demise. As the search continued, the remaining bodies were discovered in a chilling sequence. 3 more hikers were found between the campsite and the tree line, seemingly heading back towards the tent. Their injuries were puzzling and gruesome. One had a fractured skull, while another had suffered severe chest trauma, as if crushed by an immense force. The injuries were so severe that they couldn't have been caused by human hands alone. These unsettling discoveries deepened the sense of unease and confusion surrounding the incident. Months later, in May, the final 4 bodies were discovered in a ravine, buried under several meters of snow. These hikers were found in a haphazard arrangement, suggesting they had tried to seek shelter or escape from an imminent danger. Their injuries were equally disturbing, with broken ribs, internal trauma, and one hiker even missing her tongue. Official investigations concluded that a compelling natural force was responsible for the deaths, but this explanation did little to satisfy the public's curiosity. The lack of a clear explanation led to a myriad of theories, ranging from avalanches and hypothermia to encounters with military or secret government experiments. The mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to captivate the world. In recent years, technological advancements have allowed for new examinations of the evidence, including the use of satellite imagery and forensic analysis. However, despite these efforts, the truth behind what truly transpired on that fateful night remains elusive, leaving the Dyatlov Pass incident as a chilling and enduring enigma that has sparked countless debates and speculations, ensuring its place as one of history's most perplexing unsolved mysteries.
On the evening of December 24, 1945, tragedy struck the Soder family in Fayetteville, West Virginia.
A fire consumed their home, leaving parents George and Jenny Soder and 4 of their children to escape, but tragically, 5 of their children, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5, were unaccounted for and presumed dead. However, the circumstances surrounding their disappearance were shrouded in mystery and fueled by strange occurrences. Despite a thorough search of the fire site, no remains of the missing children were ever found. The absence of skeletal remains raised questions, as the fire had not burned with the intensity required to completely incinerate human bones. This, coupled with witness accounts of the children being seen near the house during the fire, led the Solders to suspect that their children had not perished in the blaze. The Solder family's investigation took an intriguing turn when they received an anonymous letter claiming that the missing children were alive and well. In the years that followed, the family received various photographs, allegedly depicting their missing children grown up. These perplexing items fueled their belief that their children had been abducted and were living somewhere. The Solders' quest for the truth led them to dig deeper into the events surrounding the fire. They discovered that their telephone line had been cut before the blaze, preventing them from calling for help. Additionally, a ladder that could have provided an escape route mysteriously disappeared. Suspicions of foul play arose when witnesses came forward, stating they had seen a man stealing the ladder and another man silencing the phone line. The Solders, convinced that their children had been kidnapped, sought the assistance of law enforcement and hired private investigators. However, their efforts were met with resistance. The local authorities insisted that the fire had been accidental, dismissing the possibility of abduction. The Solders felt frustrated by the lack of progress in the official investigation and increasingly suspicious of a potential cover-up. Over time, the Solder family became convinced that their children had been targeted due to their outspoken political views and their father's criticism of fascist dictator Benito Mussolini. They believed that their children had been taken by a secretive organization with connections to organized crime and that local officials were complicit in the cover-up. The disappearance of the Solder children remains a haunting unsolved mystery that has captivated the public for decades. Despite extensive investigations, leads, and renewed efforts by the family and various interested parties, the truth behind the fate of the Solder children has eluded discovery. To this day, the story serves as a reminder of the enduring grief and determination of the Solder family and the enigmatic circumstances that surrounded their tragic Christmas Eve fire.
In 1974, the Lutz family moved into a picturesque house on 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, completely unaware of the horror that awaited them.
Little did they know, the house carried a dark history that would soon consume their lives. Shortly after settling in, the family encountered a barrage of inexplicable and terrifying phenomena that defied all rational explanation. Almost immediately, the atmosphere within the house took a sinister turn. Foul odors of decay and sewage permeated the air, causing constant discomfort. Doors and windows would slam shut violently on their own, as if manipulated by an unseen force. The walls themselves seemed to exude an eerie black slime that defied any logical explanation. It was as if the very essence of evil had saturated the home. The terror escalated rapidly, targeting each family member with relentless intensity. The Lutz children, in particular, became the primary victims of the malevolent presence. They experienced relentless nightmares, waking up at the same time every night, 3:15 a.m., which was the exact time Ronald DeFeo Jr. had carried out his gruesome murders in the house. The children were tormented by vivid and horrifying visions that left them in a perpetual state of fear. Physical attacks from the unseen entity were not uncommon. Family members reported being scratched, pushed, and even levitated by an invisible force. George Lutz, the patriarch, bore the brunt of the haunting's influence. He experienced a rapid and disturbing transformation, descending into fits of rage and exhibiting an alarming change in personality. He would often awaken at 3:15 a.m., plagued by a chilling presence that left him overwhelmed and consumed by a deep sense of malevolence. Desperate for answers and respite, the Lutz family sought assistance from renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens confirmed the presence of a demonic entity, convinced that it had latched onto the Amityville house. They meticulously documented the haunting, further adding to its chilling reputation. After enduring only 28 days of relentless torment, the Lutz family made the difficult decision to abandon their home, leaving behind their belongings and a nightmare they could no longer endure. Their harrowing experiences were chronicled in the influential book The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson, which solidified the house's infamy and inspired a series of films. While skepticism and controversy have surrounded the Amityville haunting, it remains one of the most iconic and chilling cases in paranormal history. The terrifying events experienced by the Lutz family have captivated the curiosity of both believers and skeptics alike, leaving an enduring mystery and a lingering question: what truly lurked within the dark entity in Amityville?